Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Hello, good
afternoon.
afternoon, Maria.
How are
Good
you?
afternoon,
Hi.
everyone.
Out there in the Philippines?
We're doing good in the Philippines.
So, thank you, Anna and Ramon. Thank you very much for organizing the session. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Dimitrova. I'm a lead auditor on ISO standards, including 27001. And Anna and Ramon, who are two of our excellent area managers in Asia, they're located in the Philippines, have kindly asked me to participate as an auditor, as an assessor on information security to give you some tips with regards to how important ISO management systems are. And Ramon actually has managed to invite one of our customers, a representative of one of our customers, that would be Converge ICT. And we have with us Orsa Kino as well, who is in a little bit of time explain why the organization decided to implement ISO standards, why 27001, and why do it with us, IMSM, as the ISO specialists. So, because we are live, hi everyone again. Thank you, Kamal. Because we are live, some glitches, technical glitches might occur. So from time to time it happens, but we have our super excellent marketing team behind the scenes, and they're going to handle any situation, bringing us back or jumping in and saying, "We apologize, we've lost them for a fraction of a second, and they'll be back." So, Anna, Ramon,
Yeah.
anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to our third live session for Asian markets, and now to discuss ISO 27001.
And as we've already seen, ours is back thanks to our marketing team. Hi, Ors. How are you?
Hello, Maria. I'm good. I'm pretty good.
And hello,
So,
everyone. My name is Ramon Blanco. I'm area manager. I'm based in the
Okay.
Philippines as well. And,
So,
you know,
good afternoon, everyone. So I just wanted to share my experience, that my team's experience with IMSM. So for everyone's knowledge, we have our engagement with them for the ISO 22301 2019. So Converge, top IMSM partner with IMSM to help us ensuring our goal for this year to certify one of the organization's key process. So we just started almost end of 22, and they were able to work around on our timeline. Currently, we have a good relationship with the team. They are very accommodating to any of our concerns and queries. And importantly, we were able to work around with our limited budget.
maybe we have.
Good.
Lovely to hear that,
Yeah.
Ors. By the way, I'm so pleased. I'm the assessor on 22301, which is business continuity with
Mhm.
you. I didn't have the pleasure to work on 27001 or 9001 with the organization, but honestly, I'm very happy we are carrying on with the further standards, and I'll really enjoy working with your team and scheduling activities and preparing the documentation
Yes.
for you. So, uh,
Yes, currently we just finished the gap analysis session. So
yeah.
we are now moving to the next steps.
Yeah, I got it. I've already uploaded it and starting working on it tomorrow morning, as I promised, for you to get it early next week.
Hello, Maria.
So, hello, can you hear me? Hello.
yes, we
Yes.
can
Yes,
hear
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So back to our topic 27001. I'd like very much to say something for starters. This is a very relevant standard, basically because it's an ISO standard, but as well it is also a IEC standard. IEC standing for International Electrotechnical Commission, which means that we are not only covered with the huge expertise on the ISO side, but also the huge technical expertise from the International Electrotechnical Commission. This is very important. A few standards, ISO standards, have been elaborated in collaboration with the Commission, and those are very technical and actually give us both significant expertise approaches, the management approach and the purely technical approach. So this is important because sometimes organizations say, "Ah, yeah, but it's just a management system standard." No, it is not just a management system standard, it's a good technical standard with the additional value of adding management system standardization on top of technical requirements. And this is important for several reasons. Uh, if we approach information security from only a technical perspective, we may miss some essential elements. You've heard that Orson and I discussed gap analysis. So the management end of the standards allows us to quickly identify any potential technical gaps. Interestingly enough, just a fun fact about ISO IEC 27001 is that only 40% of the controls within the standard are actually purely technical. Even less, more than 60% of the controls, are management controls. And this is how organization can deal with the problem. So, Anna, Ramon, you asked me to start with this short explanation about the standard itself.
Yes, please.
So, this is how I see it. It's a good, very good technical standard fit into a very good management system standard. So we get the benefits from technical expertise and from the management expertise as well. And this is really important because uh, we were talking a few weeks ago during a session for the States about corporate espionage. Now we're also talking about all the concerning elements such as quantum computing that may accelerate the need to adapt to better practice quickly. So it's very important for organization to build up a resilient management system to be in a good position to identify any potential gaps, anything that they may be required from a contractual point of view, from a legal point of view, from a purely mm, reputational point of view to comply with. Reman, I understand that reputation is key to Asian organizations. Am I right?
Yeah, Maria. Actually, in the past probably a few years now, the 27001 has been very very relevant, especially when the pandemic hit, globally, and everybody's now electronically connected. Everybody's sharing information, and electronically. So the cyber attacks has been increasing as well, and now conglomerates companies are now very very wary of us sharing information right now. So that's why there has been an increase in finding out how do we mitigate the situation. And I thought that the 27001 might be one of the biggest solutions to address
To most.
these issues, particularly the security on information system.
It did. It is a very good standard, basically because, as I say, it covers the organizations from a global perspective. First of all, many organizations think that 27001 is a cybersecurity standard. It goes beyond cybersecurity and electronic security because it covers all security related aspects from the organization with customers, suppliers, hiring processes, through mm, technological issues, human resources, etc., etc. So we cover the organization from a very global perspective, which is good
Yes.
because as an ISO standard, it also mandates that organizations actually consider both risks and
And
opportunities.
opportunities.
Yeah, you mentioned customers, Maria. Actually, we also have experiences in the Philippines where in their, government biddings, government tenders, and if
Yes.
they are an IT projects, the government agencies are now very particular into dealing with IT companies and wanted to make sure that they are sharing information to companies who are secured with high security in terms of handling the data that they share. So I have an experience one time wherein a government agency was requiring as part of for a bidder to qualify that you have to be an ISO 27001
True.
certified. So it applies definitely to governments, to suppliers, to
So,
partners, to suppliers, yep, and customers as well.
so yes, this has been, yeah, in all industry. The scope is, yeah, most of the requests coming from all sorts of company, all industry that we are been dealing with and receiving with is looking for 27,001. Also, especially because we had like improving or focusing on the Data Privacy Act, which was being implemented sometime actually before the pandemic it started, but it's really now focusing on the information security management systems as of this day. So it's very timely that we have this session. Like, at least most of our prospective clients and those interested in implementing their ISMS will fully understand. And thank you, Maria, again for explaining and to continue, please.
Uh, Yeah. So this is a very good point, Anne and Ramon. It's a worldwide trend for governments to ask for ISO standards in relevant sectors and relevant ISO standards. This is because ISO standards go, as I say, beyond the strictly legal and regulatory requirements, and logically, governments, national, local governments and authorities, when they organize tenders, they want to make sure that organizations bidding for their money will go beyond the strictly legal to comply. So it gives further reassurance to governments and authorities, and this is only logical for them to ask for those guarantees.
Yes.
In many European countries, you will find out, if you have a look, that even private tenders require for ISO implementations, which makes it easier for us here in Europe to calculate or to estimate somehow the return on the investment. Which my understanding is that is slightly more complicated in Asia because some private organizations do not mention ISO standards as a requirement, although we all know that when organizations bid for on the tender, those who can prove uh, that they operate ISO compliant management system actually are more likely to be selected.
Hmm.
So many times I'm asked about how much, how long, and what the return on the investment might be. Have you had these questions often
Yeah,
asked?
all the
All the time.
time, all the time, of course.
Well, unfortunately and fortunately, I'll be very vague. answering this question, these questions, but not because it is difficult to say no, it is not. And if an organization gives us a call, we'll be quickly able to answer their question. But because speaking in general terms about how long, what does it cost, etc., is really complicated. ISO standards, by in
Uh-oh.
particular, um, oh, I'm back. I think I'm back.
Yeah.
In particular, 27,001, it's slightly difficult to evaluate because standards and the cost and resources depend on how big the organization is, how committed it is to the process. You know that we make it easy for everyone. However, there is some involvement on their side, and then it depends. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then it depends with 27,001 in particular if the whole organization is going to be covered, only one department is going to be covered, or maybe a process within the organization can be covered. So we need to talk to our customers, we need to assess the project, and
Yeah.
then quickly come back to them and say, this is going to cost that much, it is going to take that long,
That
and this is how we can help
can.
you.
Yeah.
So I think that this is your approach as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So talking about drivers, adoption drivers, because we
Yeah.
mentioned government. But honestly, let me explain how the whole 27,001 approach started. So at the beginning, we we perceived the pressure within the supply chain, which is logical. When we work with customers, they would like us to protect them. Then, as customers, we ask exactly the same from our providers. This is a logical
Yeah.
uh, flow. However, we started talking about government. Other factors, other drivers came up, such as government requirements, aside from contractual requirements, investors. Many organizations, startups, are sold, most of them are sold within 2 or 3 years from being created. Those who already have an ISO 27001 sell better, quicker. Investors are more open to work with those organizations. Then we might have um, industry trends, market trends that require to comply. And let's not forget about the workforce. Currently, there are quite a lot of vacancies to be filled in. Organizations that operate ISO standards, systems in conformity with ISO standards, are more likely to be selected by potential newcomers, better qualified, and they're also more likely to retain their existing staff. Why? Because they operate better than their competitors. And hiring or staff rotation has an incremental cost to organizations. So it's let's look at the standards from a global perspective, and then we can actually calculate, evaluate better the return on our investment. I think Anna mentioned the other day, Anna, please correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
uh, something about the benefits from having 27,001
27.
implemented.
And yes, and also if there is a need for ISO 9001 before going for 27001.
Oh,
So
yes, I nearly forgot that one. Thank you. So, most organizations tend to first have 9001, and this is only logical for a very simple reason. 9001 has been with us since 1987, 35 years now. So, in 35 years, it has evolved, organizations got familiar with the standards, and this is a logical solution to have to focus on our customer satisfaction. So by default, this is a standard that is already well known, and there is no objection regarding how useful the standard to organization might be. So yes, most organizations do have 9001 or decide to go with 9001 before they implement another standard. In this case, let's say 27001. However, because ISO standards have the same structure, the same approach, same simple principle, which is just do what you say what you do, there is no objections, no impediments by the side to start directly with 27001 if an organization needs it. And in my experience among our customers, most technological companies go directly with 27001 and quite successfully as well. So no, there is no impediment to go with 27001, no requirement for 9001. It's a good thing if you have it. Why? Because you already have the basis, you know how it operates, you are aware of the importance of, of the system you operate. You know how to communicate, you know how to assign responsibilities. So you are a bit ahead. But because ISO standards are so flexible, they can be, each of them, implemented without having
yeah,
a different
okay.
standard in place. So back to benefits.
Yeah,
Uh, Benefits from ISO 27001 many actually, thanks to Anna. Thank you, Anna. We started with the related benefits of having a 27001 management system, which is the fact that it can be integrated to a range of management system standards or implemented in parallel. Both options are valid. And some of the relevant standards that might be of interest to organizations with 20 in integration or implementation with 27001 might be, as mentioned, 9001, which is quality management. Interestingly, 14,001, which is environmental management. Why? Because many IT companies are actually huge energy consumers and environmental polluter. So 14,001 and 50,001,
yeah,
which is energy efficiency, makes sense with 27,001, don't they? And
yeah,
then uh, we'll be having a talk about IT service management, which is ISO 2001. Organizations providing IT service management might be interested in a combination between 20 and 27. So this is a nice additional benefit. Main benefits competitive, increasing, maintaining their competitive edge. And we've already mentioned it, more business. Why? Because when we bid for a tender, as Ramon said, we're more likely to be selected. Now, because we have ISO 27001, we are not going to be automatically given that contract. We need to do our bit of work and put it all right as an organization from a commercial and technical point of view. That's obvious. But the fact that we can demonstrate that we go beyond what is strictly required, that's huge and helps a lot. going to remind me about my favorite benefit, which is the fact that ISO 27001 can be externally certified. By the way, I'm saying it because Ramon and I always talk about my obsession with that particular benefit. I see it as a benefit. Most people see it as a second process, which is good, but I see it as a huge benefit for a very simple reason. We can implement the system and tell everyone that we operate it in conformity with the standard. That's valid. The ISO as an organization accepts it. But what about authorities, government, and our customers?
Yeah.
They may decide that they need further confirmation. So the standard allows for you, once having implemented it, to ask an independent body, and we're going to help you to select the right one for you, to come in, assess your work, and at some point say, okay, it all works. So you have a certificate, valid one, that proves to everyone that you've been independently assessed and certified. So this is the
Yeah.
proof of your work. On top of that, these uh, audits are carried out on an annual basis, which means that your organization is going to prepare for the audit every single year
Yeah.
and during the year. So you'll push, and the idea of the system is to improve your security. If you push because you are externally audited once per year, you'll improve. This is the idea of the standards. Ramon, Anna, would you like to add anything to what's been already said?
Yeah, just to add, with the other standards that goes along with 27001, 22301 on business continuity is also very important to note.
Yes, actually, as we've heard, Ors, who's gone, by the way, I don't know, maybe some uh,
Connection
yeah,
problem also.
I I don't think so. Maybe he has
Some
something
other
has,
meeting?
yeah, something has popped up. I think because I
Uh,
sent a lot of work earlier this morning. So
okay.
yeah, so they decided that 9001, those are very good standards, but they would top up the system with
Oh,
22301 to boost it, to make it more resilient. 22301 is an interesting one. It allows us, it actually fits very well with the 27001 and allows us to operate always above the minimum acceptable service level we are required, even during a disruption. This is the standard. This is a standard requirement. So very, very good one, 22301 business continuity indeed, Anna. Thank you.
and Maria, can you explain further what are these 114 controls in 27,000? Because a lot is all our prospective clients is asking me, what is this 114 controls?
Okay, thank you for the question. So let's say that customers may be slightly concerned about controls, and another thing that is potential changes and current changes. Let's start with the explanation of the standard. The standard, as all the standards, ISO standards, has 10 clauses, but this standard has also a annex.
Okay.
Is normative. It means that we need to talk about those controls, and they are controls about physical security, personal security, IT security, etc., etc. Those rules that an organization needs to comply with. For instance, how to do backup, how to sync their clocks, how to hire people, how to make changes. So this is controls based on best practice. Uh, some customers get slightly confused because currently we're working with two annexes. The annex, which is part of the standard 27001 edition 2013 and has 114 controls of all kinds, and a new annex that was published in February this year. It contains only 93 controls. It doesn't mean that it is shorter, on the contrary, it's slightly longer, but has optimized the existing controls and has added a few new controls that were missing, something on cloud, etc. So, uh, organizations may decide to work with the 114 at the moment or with 93 controls at the moment. It depends. They may need to add their own controls, or they may decide that a few controls may not apply. So we'll document why those do not apply. But this is a, let's say, a guidance, a checklist. We go through the controls, we follow them and say, okay, we have backup policy and procedure ticked. Okay, we know how to sync our uh, mm, clocks. Okay, we have a procedure about downloading, uploading, physical stuff. Okay, we have um, a remote working policies which contains this point, this point, this point. Oh, that's okay. So these controls are an exhaustive checklist on what and how it is needed to be done in order to be compliant. Now, in October 2013 will be slightly amended. There is not going to be any major change. We'll be keeping exactly the same version, but the new one will require from a moment onwards, instead of the 114 control organizations to work with the 93 controls as a reference. When exactly, it's kind of speculation at the moment, but because standard changes are something absolutely normal within the standard life cycle, we expect it to be anything between 1.5 to 2.5 years. So standards, I started at the beginning with the 9001 example, are meant to be changed. That's a normal thing within their life cycle. 9001 has been changed many times. Why? Because we evolve, our technology evolves, our problems, our issues, and opportunities evolve. So our standards need to evolve as well. Nothing to be concerned about those changes. Give us a call. We'll assess your particular situation and explain further. So there are quite a lot of elements within 27001. My fair recommendation, talk to our area managers in Asia. We operate in several countries. We have competent people, Anna and Ramon, both, and other people as well. Just give us a call to technical staff, and we can join them. If you organize a session, commercial session, my
Oh,
assessment, further information. Anna, have I answered your question?
yes, thank you, Maria. Anyway, we will be having another session on 27,001 to further discuss the details. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and what also is related to the updates on the new 27,001 standard is coming up. So
Yeah, we can do it
Okay.
in 2 weeks' time. We have a session in two
Yeah.
weeks' time, same time. So I can prepare, go through the main changes for you and give you further information. So to reassure our customers that we're on top of what's going on and we know how to deal with that in a smooth and
Yeah.
painless way.
Yeah.
Again, 27001 is a sophisticated, is a complex standard, but we're professionals and operate according to our customers' needs.
Okay. Mon, anything else to add?
Nope, I think Maria have covered so much information about the 27001. Probably for the audiences that we have right now, if they have questions.
Caroline, have we received any questions?
Incoming.
She's coming. You're muted.
We haven't received any questions, but we've had a lot of nice comments left under the live stream, so that's been really
Oh,
appreciated.
Oh,
thank you everyone
thank
for
you. Thank
watching
you.
us. We'll be back next week with the ISO 45001, which is occupational health and safety. That's a big one. And this one actually allows for a quick evaluation on the return from the investment. Much easier if you compare it with 27001. So
Yeah.
I hope that we'll get the audience attending the session as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Uh,
Maria, thank you again, once again. And we'll see you again next week.
Thank you
Mon?
very much for inviting me, Anna and Ramon. Pleasure working
Yes.
with you. Thank you so much.
Great to have you, Maria. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, everyone. Karen.